How's it going? This is Doug. It's November 3rd, 2015. This is vlog number 5. It's a beautiful day here in Wisconsin today. Work from home today. Can never complain about that. It's awesome. Don't have to get out of your pajamas if you don't want to. Got to go out and feed the chickens barefoot for probably the last time this year. Maybe. I don't know. It'll be really cold probably if I do it later. Snow's gonna fly pretty soon, but since it was such a great day, my friend Brad and I decided to go play disc golf. So I spent a few hours this afternoon tromping around. I love disc golf, man. It's so good. It's just, you work different muscles in your legs than you normally do. Strengthen your ankles. It's not just a even playing field, especially if you get into the woods and into the sticks every once in a while. Get a pretty tricky course, and you know you got to really be careful where you put that thing, but the ground isn't even, so it's good for you, healthy. I think it's personally, I like it a little more than golf. Hard to say. It's easier to do than golf with a short time schedule, and I would say, it doesn't cost as much. You don't get to drive the cart around though. That is pretty sweet in the golf. But other news, other things. I watched a really pretty good video with Gary Vaynerchuk and Casey Neistat. Both two really driven dudes. Both, lay it on the line every single day. They had a lot of good advice, for up and coming people who are trying to, make an impact, do something good. They both have, really positive messages, I think. Gary, he's just a super diehard advertising guy. Like he can sell it. Chad, he's just real super, down to earth and like pretty money as far as, I don't know, as far as kind of having a pretty good handle on things. At least, from his videos and on the outside, he seems like a pretty cool dude. And he's got, it seems like he's got, good motivation behind what he does. One thing that Gary said during this video, it wasn't about this necessarily, but towards the end, they asked him about mistakes. One thing that I need to be conscious of, and, I think a lot of people who spend a lot of time doing their passion projects and things that they want to do, you know, Gary was saying for a while there he was neglecting his wife a little bit and his family. Family is priority. Family is super key. Actually, after this, I need to go have a little date with my wife before she falls asleep. We're gonna watch a TV show. Gonna watch Last Man Alive, or Last Man on Earth. I can't remember. It's pretty funny though. If you like, the kind of not dry comedy, but like, I don't know, cheesy comedy. I'm kind of into a good cheesy post-apocalyptic comedy every now and again. But yeah, I don't have a ton today. I just spent so much time outside. I unplugged, which was good. I think it's super amazing that we live in this time where we can find great advice all over the place. I mean, if you're looking for it, it's there. You can find, role models. They say that you're the mean of all the people you hang out with and surround yourself with. And I think with, things like the internet, now we can get out of that little bubble. Like, I grew up in a town with 1,400 people. Maybe one of these days soon I'll get back into my bio, tell a little bit more about myself and where I came from. I certainly feel like I've been through quite a bit and have some pretty good stories and experiences to go along the way. Along the path, I've lived in Wisconsin. I grew up here. I've lived in Florida, worked construction down there for about 8 months. Got sick of it being warm and sunny every single day. Came back here, went to college. Maybe I'll just talk a little bit about it now. So came back here, went to college, got a marketing degree because I figured, doing construction, well, my first gig out of high school was a welder. So I was a welder for about 1.5 years, and I just hated myself out of bed every single day. Just couldn't even, it was horrible. I had all these plans. That's when I started writing, originally. My original idea to get out of this trap that I'd found myself in with the welding gig, and it seemed like I was just, at the time, I was 18, and I started working right out of high school at a factory. Like I say, hating myself out of bed every morning. And I started thinking of ways, dreaming of ways I could get myself out of this. And I'm thinking at the time, what minimum wage, I was making just over minimum wage. It was probably maybe $7 an hour, something like that. And everything that I earned was going into bills. And I had bought a car, so I was paying that. And I worked all the time, and everything went to bills, and everything was gone. At the end of the week, I'd be skidding in sideways, to get my paycheck with an empty tank in the bank, And I just thought there's got to be a better way than this, man. There's just got to be a better way. And I started daydreaming about hitchhiking or walking all the way to Florida. And I guess, I don't know, I wanted to be homeless for some reason. Really strange. I know it sounds really strange. But I ended up going down to Florida anyway. So I ended up getting fired from the welding gig, which is the only time in my life I've ever really been fired. But to be honest with you, it was probably one of the best things that ever happened to me, because there were so many guys in that factory that they're like, you've been here for a year now. Once you're here for a year, you're a lifer. And they had all been there for, 20, 30 years, and just the same. Every single one of them hated every minute of it. None of them wanted to be there. I was just like, there's so much more in this world. So I get fired. And I decide I want to do something. Like I say, I wanted to hitchhike, but I guess I told too many people, and I guess I was too scared, whatever the case may be at the time. Ended up, telling people. They talked me out of it. To be honest with you, it would have made such a great story that now, I wish I would have done it. I didn't hitchhike to Florida. I ended up, after that, moving to my aunt's house and did a little couch surfing in Madison, Wisconsin, which is the capital of Wisconsin. A little bigger city, actually just outside in Sun Prairie, but semantics. Lived there for a few months and called a cousin who lived in Florida that I grew up with. And we were real good friends when we were young, and he invited me to come down there and work for his dad, who owned a construction company. So I ended up getting to Florida, just not the way, I was kind of daydreaming about it. Even at the time, I was like, man, it would make such a great story to write. But I think, you do a lot of things in your life. And you could have gone this way. You could have gone that way. lots of paths to choose. Maybe if I wouldn't have done it the way I did it, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. And I wouldn't have all the, you know, all of the good fortunes and blessings that that I have been blessed with, you know, like, or whatever you want to call it, man. I don't know. Yeah, it's been a crazy trip. Much more to come. So my quote today is actually from Nelson Mandela. I think it's appropriate for, you know, what I'm working on, and I think it's also, I don't know, I just like the guy. I've got a picture. Can you see it as I go over there? My office. One of these days I'll show you my office. There he is, Nelson Mandela, on the wall over there, in a t-shirt. Nelson Mandela, the t-shirt version. So the quote is, "So many of our dreams at first seem impossible. They seem improbable. And then, when you summon the will, they soon become inevitable." Nelson Mandela. All right. Love ya.